It was a graph.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that one. So is that peak?
Yeah.
What word is that?
So it says dead on the inside.
Dead on the inside. Okay.
So as we have seen, there was in the results too, we can see here that a lot of people are talking more about the suicidal nature. So the keywords which are related to suicide we are getting a lot more tweets as compared to the other keywords.
And that's out of Tennessee? State
Yes,
too?
yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, you said this is like a prototype or whatever, eventually you guys are planning to do this on a big scale. So is the hope that like, you'll be able to monitor more than just Twitter eventually?
We plan to.
Okay. That's really cool.
Yes.
How do you differentiate between tweets about actual depression and people who are, like, for example, just tired, or the people who think it's funny to make suicidal jokes, like, oh, I did so bad, I'm gonna go put a bullet in my head, or something? Like, how do you differentiate between those? 'Cause it's
So,
really different.
the way you said, it's a joke, and humans can tell that. So when we started, the major task was to annotate it manually. So one tweet, the person will tell whether it is talking about the symptom, suicide actually or not, or it is just some other thing people are using.
Okay, so you don't use your software for that, right?
We cannot. I mean, first we label some things, and based on that, my algorithm learns what kind of. So when people are talking about, they are saying something about something like a joke. So the pattern will be different with the pattern which is actually talking about suicide. So we try to find out those patterns using the algorithm. So for that, we first annotate it, and using those annotations, my algorithm learns the pattern and then indicate whether the new thing, which is new tweet coming up, is talking about suicide or not.
So you filter it and then you manually go through and determine if it's a serious suicidal thought or if it's just a joke.
Starting
Nice.
view, yes.
Okay.
But later, when my algorithm is learned, when it is working, when I say that this model is perfect now, we can use some random things, and then when it gives, then we use it with those test data or validation data, then it gives us a result.
Okay, thank you.
Does your test data or your evaluation data take into consideration like human tweets versus like automated tweets? Because
Well, we
there's
did find-
there's a large, influx of that happening.
We did find a couple of Twitter profiles like that, we can say that these are the bots.
Okay.
Yes, we did. But we haven't considered those in this study. We have removed it. Yes, please.
Along the same lines of kind of a joke, but like tech, a tweet from like a quote from a book, because there are obviously books that talk about suicide and similar topics. So is there a way to leave those out yet?
So in that case, so it's not only one person who is annotating it. There are more. So they are from different area, maybe from psychology and computer science, maybe literature. And then when they agree, so I showed you one thing that the example where one person was talking about exhausting and the other person was talking about sleeplessness. So when all three agree, then we say that this is the feature. So it's user agreement.
Are you also taking into account maybe supportive efforts from a person tweeting something and people are retweeting back at them saying, well, I'm here for you, or are you analyzing that data at all?
So when my algorithm is learning the pattern, at that time we are not using it, because otherwise what will happen if I'm using a retweet and a lot of people are retweeting it, it will be biased data.
Okay.
So, but when we are considering it for the state, because it is coming from the same location, we have to, because when people are retweeting, that means they are supporting it. Otherwise they won't retweet it.
Yeah.
So that means people are talking about it, they are supporting it. And that's where we say that these many people or these many tweets are in this picture. Yes. what we are planning is to give, because this kind of study is not yet there, that we can say this particular area is suffering from this symptom. And when person are getting depressed, it is difficult to treat them because they don't come out in public and they don't seek help from people. You know, they don't go to doctors easily. They go only when they are severely suffering from depression. So we want to stop that. And when we are able to know this area is struggling with this kind of symptom, that means this area is going towards depression. So if we can stop the cause, we can stop the depression there.
Okay.
So it can be helpful to the policymakers in that particular state. Probably they can work towards that. That okay, we want to stop people from tiredness. So what is the reason? What is causing them tiredness? It may be the traffic, maybe whatever the other reasons.
Okay, thank you.
So you're still looking at the state level, not at individual person here?
The other half of my team is also working on that. So when we get a profile, a Twitter profile, we are studying on that level too.
Well, thank you so much. That's all the time we have.